the idea that because you are already consciousness, you don't need to be concerned anymore about improving yourself is an unhealthy idea. It's an idea that comes from Neo-Advaita teachings, and it doesn't have integrity. So what is the truth about this matter? Before awakening, you do self-improvement like everybody, right? And that's the way we call it, self-improvement. I am here fixing myself, perfecting myself, improving myself. With awakening, not before, but with awakening, you realize that that little self is a story of the mind, it's not a real. So the very concept of I, myself, fixing myself, self-development, doesn't make any sense anymore, right? And that's where this Neo-Advaita idea comes from. You realize that you are pure consciousness, everybody's pure consciousness, even animals, in the end, everything is pure consciousness. Okay? And therefore, why bother? That's where this idea comes from. It comes from awakening. The problem is that awakening is not something that you go into that state and it becomes solidified and you never come out of it. That may be 1 in a million. The rest, the experience is very different. You have the awakening, the realization happens that, hey, I'm pure consciousness. Great. I'm not this mind-body organism. And the little self is a story of the mind. Awakening is very liberating, no doubt about it. But because you will come out of that empty state and you will go back to the ego, and you will. You go back to the ego state. Although the ego has become more, you are wearing it more loosely. You are not holding so tight to it after awakening, and that's very liberating, yes. So you come back to the ego state, and now you continue working in the ego, in improving this persona, this character. But now there is clarity. The clarity is that consciousness is fixing, optimizing this character so that the character will be more effective and optimized for the expression of consciousness in this level. So now self-development has turned into improving, evolving the mind-body organism. And there is clarity about that. But the need to continue working in the mind-body organism is obvious. Because otherwise you get stuck. You get stuck in a state that is not pure emptiness. Is a more comfortable ego state, but complete freedom hasn't come yet. So that path, that journey between the awakening and final liberation is a journey where we continue working at perfecting, optimizing the mind-body organism until final liberation comes. But who continues working in this false self or fake self? Consciousness. So this heavy idea of the time when you were doing self-improvement, that you have to fix yourself, is gone. And also the methodology that you apply should at least be different, because you know that you as the little self cannot fix your little self. You don't exist. So the process changes, so to speak, the self-improvement methodology changes. And now the focus is into letting go, identifying whatever is out of place in the mind-body organism, which there will be plenty, identifying that and surrendering it to consciousness, taking responsibility and surrender it. Stop projecting. When there is frustration, don't project it on someone else, on your spouse perhaps, and own it. Oh, okay, something in this mind-body organism is off. There are programs underneath that frustration that are creating that frustration. So you own the frustration, take responsibility for it, don't project it on your spouse, blaming your spouse for what you're feeling, and you let it go. For that, I recommend the surrendering technique, which I have presented in previous videos, probably more than one. So you use the surrendering technique and you let go of this emotion. And with that, you are consenting to consciousness. Your little false self is consenting, using free will, consenting to be modified and changed so that this particular frustration doesn't show up again. That the mind-body organism that doesn't get triggered again. Under the same circumstances, next time, nothing happens. What happened internally? The mind-body organism was changed by consciousness itself with the authorization of the ego, the false self. And now the trigger is not there. The same situation happens, but there is no reaction. I'm going to present the next video about the couple relationship and the application of this. I recommend you watch the next video. Well, sorry the bad news. And take care of your mind-body organism.